Hey everyone, welcome back to new series of Python. In today's video, we will be discussing about the user input. So in previous videos and all, we have discussed about assigning a value into a variable, but all those values with a constant value. Constant value is nothing but we cannot change the value once we have assigned a value to a particular variable. But a programmer may not be using a constant value all time in a program. So the developers or the users may just need to provide the input from the output console, which makes the program more user-friendly or more interactive. So let's see how can we explore this input function in Python. So input function is basically used for collecting the data from the output console. So we can just enter different kinds of different types of data, or we can just use different types of data in our programming language. But by default, whatever data is given using the input function, all those values or those data will be treated as string. So let's see how can we just manage this in Python. So let's see the magic over here. So let's find a variable over here. Let's name the variable as variable itself, and let's put a value into it. So I'm going to assign a value as let's say cybroses. So the variable is equal to cybroses. Now here you can see that we have assigned a value which is constant. But instead of giving the constant value, we just need to input according to the interest of the user. So we can use the input function as we just discussed it in the introduction. So I'm going to use the input function. Here you can see you can use the function as input, and you can provide the thing that you want to display. So if I'm just providing the input over here, and let's print the variable, let's check what happens over there. And let me run the file. And once we run the file, here you can see that the terminal is opened over here, and we don't know what is happening in this terminal, and because it's blank. So here you can see we can just provide something over here. So let's say we just need to input cybroses, and let's click on enter. So here once we input the variable or the data, and when you just click on the enter button, here you can see that we have printed data. But the thing is that we don't know what we need to input into our system. So instead of this, we have to instruct our system what to input. Now let's say input is equal to, let's provide some text over here so that we can just understand what the user is exactly going to input in our system. So let's say that enter the variable, and later on you can just again run the file. So you can see that now the user will have a clear knowledge in what to input in the system. So the user now can enter any of the data. So let's say I'm going to enter the input as 5, and let's click on enter, and you will get the input over here. But the thing is that even if you just input the value as an integer, Python will treat this value as string. So if you want to check the type of this variable, you can check that. For that, you can use the type function. So let's use the type function and check the type of this variable. Now let me save this. Later on, let me provide an integer value. Integer value. And here you can see that still the Python is treating this as string. So in such cases, we can just convert the string to another form. So in order to convert that, you can just use the in function. So let's use the integer function, or to which function you want to convert, you can use that. Use that data type. So I'm going to provide over here, and now you can run the file. And once you run the file, here you can just provide the value, and let's click on enter, and you can see that now the type from string is just converted into int. So now let's go with the other example. So for that, let me comment this in order to avoid the confusions. Now let me consider two variables in order to have a simple calculation of adding. So let's consider a variable num. Let it be num1, and let's say num1 is equal to, we just need to input the data over here. So let me input the data. So enter num1, and we just need to enter other number, and let's say it as the variable name num2, and we can just provide the text as num2 over here. Now we just need to consider the result. So in order to get the results, we can just provide it as result is equal to num1 plus num2, and now we just need to print the none. That is the result of these numbers. So you can just sit over here likewise. Later on, we can run the file. So once we run the file here, we can see that the user can input the data. So the users can input data one after the other. Now let me give the value as 7 over here. And let's provide the other value as 7 itself. So as a result, we know by the mathematics, we just need to get the value as 14. Now let's check, will we get the answer as 14 itself or not? So for that, you can just click on enter, but we just got the result as 77. So here, the value is just concatenated, because actually we know when we use the input function, Python will consider these input as string by default. So when we just try to add different strings, that will be concatenate over there instead of performing the mathematical function. So in order to do the proper mathematical function, we just need to convert this into the data or to which we want to convert. So for that, we can use the int data type. So let me use the int so that this input will be converted into, input will be converted into an integer. And later on here, you can see, again, you can use the int data type, and you can provide over here brackets. Now we have just done that, and you can just run the file right now. As you run the file, we just need to provide the input. So let's use the same input, that is 7, and now let's provide the other input for num2 as 7 itself, and you can get the result as 40. Now we have just done that. And we can also split inputs that we have given in a single line using the split function. So let's check how can we just use the single input function for using or inputting multiple values. So for that, let's comment this again, and let's consider the variable as x. Okay, now let's say x is equal to input enter the input in. Okay, so as we just give like this, we know we can only enter one input. So in order to enter multiple inputs and treat them as multiple values, we can use the split function. So here you can use, like if you want to just give multiple datas into multiple variables, you can just put a comma and provide the other variable. And now here you can provide different values, and later on you can just click on dot and use split function. So afterwards you can just click on print and let's say x comma y. Now let's run the file. So once you run the file, here you can see that we can just input the data over here. So I'm going to input it as apple, and let's provide the value as 10. And let's click on enter, and you can see now both values have printed over here. So what happens if we only provide one variable to print? Now let's check that. Now let me provide different values, which is apple and 10 itself, and let's click on enter. So as we just provide only a single variable in the output function, we only will get the result of the provided variable. So we have 10 with printing of multiple values for multiple inputting the values for multiple variables. Now let's see how can we hide user input. So in order to hide the user input, first we have to use the getpass module. So getpass module is nothing but that is a module that helps to hide or secure the input such as password and all in our system or in our website. So let's see how can we explore the getpass in user inputs. So for that, first we just need to import that record. For that, you can use the import function, import getpass. So currently we have imported the getpass. Now we can just use we just need to hide the input, which means if we are just providing the password and all, we just need to hide that from the other users. So now I'm just going to give the variable as username, where I just need to get the user over here. So we can just input the user. You can provide the thing that to be displayed in your screen, and we just need to hide the user input. So in order to hide the user input, which means we just want to hide the password. So here you can provide the variable name as password and use the module that is getpass.getpass, and we want to hide the password. So you can provide thing over here, which is password, and later on we just need to print the username and password. Now let's run the file. So once we run the file, let's run in the terminal, and here we can check by giving the command that is Python 3, and you just need to provide the file name over here, user type.py, and let's click on enter. So let me provide the user name, and let's click again enter, and here you can see we can just provide the password. So when you just enter or input the password, here you can see that we cannot find the password is displayed in the output console. Now let's again click on enter in order to print the data. So here you can see that now we have got the result, that is the name that we have provided for the user as well as the password. So it's very easy and simple to manage the user input in Python. So I hope this video clarifies how to make use of the user input, and hope you are just thorough with the topic, and we'll see you in next video. Bye.